I have not been this uncomfortable watching the movie in a while. Hello beautiful people, I hope you are doing well and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I am bringing you guys yet another review, and as you can see by the title, today we are going to be talking about the Tearsmith. Let's get started. So I've already given you guys a little synopsis of this movie, but if you still don't know or you still have not watched it, let me give you an even broader synopsis then. Meet Nica and Rigel. Nica and Rigel are two kids that grew up in the same orphanage and end up getting adopted by the same couple. As much as you would kind of sort of expect kids that kind of grew up together in the same home to, you know, kind of sort of have sibling vibes going around, that is not necessarily the case between these two. Because babes, the feelings between these two are very much giving Romeo and Juliet, it's giving Bonnie and Clyde, it's giving what other famous couples can you think of, but it's giving that. And they don't even ease us into the trauma here. Like 2 minutes in, they're giving us all the trauma all at once. We see the accident that kills Nica's entire family. We see her go to the orphanage and basically see that she is about to be not treated right. let me euphemize the word. The grave is not a fun place to be, hence it's called The Grave. Because Margaret, I think, if I remember correctly, her name is Margaret. She is the owner of this orphanage. She is a terrible person and she abuses all of these children except for Rigel for some reason. Let me just say, the movie is uncomfortable. Like, that is literally the best word I can use to explain this movie. There's just something so uncomfortable about this movie. From beginning to end, you're just uneasy about everything. The color scheme also doesn't help because the whole vibe is very much giving Harry Potter. It's giving Twilight. You know, those very, it looks cold. Watching it will give you frostbite. But the soundtrack slaps. There's this running analogy throughout this movie where Rigel is the big bad wolf and Nica is some sort of damsel in distress and their fairy tale does not have a happy ending, blah 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 blah. Like, there's all of these fairy tale like analogies that are put throughout this movie. Overall, will I say drop everything and go watch this movie? No, I feel like it's one of those movies if you have time. Let's go into further details, shall we? Because I have a few things to say. Let us start off with Rigel and Nica. They were the most uncomfortable for me to watch. And I also could not take Rigel seriously. Like, this whole brooding thing he had, oh my gosh.
I am a child with trauma. I am mad at the world. Forever brooding, forever.
I really could not take him seriously. I hate characters like him and I can never take characters like that seriously. And this thing that he had with Nica where it's like,
I want you, but I can't have you because I'm not good for you. But at the same time, nobody else can have you.
It's like, and this is where Lionel comes into play, right? Because you see Lionel shoot his shot with Nica, and it's like, okay, Miguel, it's very evident that Miguel wants Rigel and not Lionel, right? I wear sharp. The problem is that I was like, okay, but like Rigel, why don't you just let Lionel be? Why don't you just let them do their own thing and not be in the middle of it all if you are not going to take initiative and be like, away, let's be a thing, right? Now, granted, Lionel is a piece of trash. Granted, he is a terrible person for what he ends up doing to Nica. But I was just saying that this was my thought process prior to realizing just how much of an awful human being Lionel is. Lionel really disappointed me. Lionel really disappointed me because I really thought he was somewhat of a decent person. Now, granted, we kind of sort of see that he is friends with the guy that Rigel ends up getting into a fight with on his first day of school. I forgot his name. And that should have been a red flag because that guy is a terrible human being. But no, I was like, okay, maybe Lionel is like, you know, it's the whole devil versus angel. He's the good guy and the friend is the bad guy, that type of thing. And so I was like, okay, maybe like Lionel is, you know, Lionel is about to show Nica the greener pastures, you know, like, oh, he's cute, he's sweet. Kante. Not you adding trauma onto a girl who is already completely traumatized. Also, here's a little something that I found a bit weird. Okay. The whole thing goes down with Lionel and Nica, with Lionel trying to force himself on her, right? And it's the whole thing, it's the whole traumatic experience. She's like, bro, get off me, nah, right? And then who comes through to save the day? Of course, Nica's knight in shining armor, Rigel comes through. They're throwing punches, wada, cool, right? Away! The whole thing is what? Stopped, right? But because of what had happened, of course, I would expect Nica to have some sort of PTSD. It was a traumatic event. She'd be all up in her feels, shivering. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Like, right? So I would expect that's the reaction I'm expecting. And then 2 seconds after what I would assume to be a traumatic experience, there is Nica as the Nica Rigel. I'm like, I don't know about you, but I feel like if I was nearly sexually assaulted by somebody, I would not be ready to give myself over to somebody else in that manner like 2 seconds later. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, as if trying to essay a poor girl in the school classroom wasn't bad enough, Lionel tries to run them over. I was like, wait a second. When I tell you that was gag of the century, just because he found out the two of them are not brotherly, sisterly feelings towards each other, but it's more romantic, and clearly he was not having it. His thought process was, I'ma run them over. Also, that ending took me by surprise. Because already I was shocked by the fact that Lionel tried to run these 2 kids over, right? And then it's like, boom, ran them over. Boom, they jump over the bridge. Boom, Rigel is in a coma. Bam, they had their little court session. I feel like that whole scene was just a bit too short. But then again, this is a movie that's like, what, an hour and 45 minutes. So maybe if it was turned into a series, another movie, they could have explored that bit a bit further, because I wanted them to nail him. And then boom, in the middle of Nika's monologue, they show us Kuti, they clearly got married and now have a kid together. Watching that ending, that was when I was like, I may have to read the book. Yeah, if you didn't know, this was based off a book. And also, this thing has a very expensive name, guys, because it's Italian, and it's called Fabbricante Di Lacrime, something like that. And I was like, maybe I should find this book and read it. So I'm gonna, where are all the book talk people? Y'all gonna need to let me know if the book is nice. And then if you've watched the movie, you're gonna need to let me know just how, because I have a feeling that book is juicy. I have a feeling that book does the most, and this movie failed to do the most of the book. That's why, where are the book talk people? Can we all just kumbaya together over here and let a girl know if this is what I'm saying is accurate? Please and thank you. You will let me know what you thought of the movie if you've watched it. Will you watch it if you haven't watched it, based off what I've just told you? All of that, you'll let me know. So yeah, that is it for me to you for now. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, switch on post notifications, all that amazing stuff. Until next time, stay amazing. Bye.